Here we go. We're already live. Hopefully, you guys are all fine. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. And today we are tuning in to talk about sound advice. So, a lot of times, you'll give advice that you don't take yourself. And yesterday was one of those situations where I could have used a lot of my advice. And so, it's another reason why I'm coming in here and trying to help as much as I can the creator community. I've learned through my time of recording and making music that one of the biggest downfalls that we can have is the inability to tune our rooms or tune the areas that we are working in. So when I say that, I mean sometimes you might have a room that you love, and you'll notice the sub frequencies can get a little muddy. Or sometimes you'll notice that the highs will get washed out. Like you might have hi hats, and you'll notice that in other rooms it may sound fine, but in your room it sounds a little um, distorted. A lot of times you'll have nodes that are in certain rooms, and these nodes, when they hit certain frequencies, then they amplify it. And so when that happens, whatever frequency that is, it'll give you an unrealistic idea of what that frequency sounds like in your room. So that can look like having the situations that I told you, and it can also look like sometimes not even being able to hear certain frequencies because of the way that these frequencies are canceling each other out. So it's our job to make sure that we're on top of it, making sure that we're understanding what's happening so that we can solve all these problems. So one of the main things that I see that could be improved is just making sure you're setting up your room correctly. So my name's Troy. If you're just watching for the first time, and I hope that you are following, liking, sharing, subscribing, and we are Fix My ACDC. That is the name of the company, and our whole model is just creating affordable ways to solve sound issues. So that means getting creative sometimes, and sometimes it just means just doing the common sense answer. But all the time, our job is to make sure that we're giving you the best situation that you could possibly have. Because it could take you out of what you're doing whenever things don't sound the way that you want them to sound. So it's imperative to us that we give you a situation to where you're excited to record, you're excited to make, or you're excited to listen. Sometimes it's all about just having a cinema room tuned or a conference room. It can be very annoying when you're in work situations in a personal office space in your home, and it doesn't sound right, it doesn't look right, and it doesn't operate correctly or function simply. And those can really make your workflow suffer. So it's our job just to make sure that we're eliminating those things. That can include us coming in, and we can help you lay out how you want to set up your room. We can help you figure out what gear you need and strategically acquire your gear in order to create a studio that you see in the future, figuring out what it is that you're actually wanting to do. Are you a singer-songwriter, or are you planning on recording large bands? And if that's the case, we can pivot and address that, or it could just be a two-person podcast, and then we can address that as well. But the goal is to make sure that we're making everybody comfortable and allowing everybody to enjoy themselves in the creation process. The worst thing that you can do is have a situation where you're not comfortable and other people trying to act like they are comfortable while they're trying to create. It's extremely difficult to create under circumstances like that. So I would implore you, if you have any questions, comments, just reach out to us. It's not going to hurt to book a consultation. We normally charge for consultations. However, for people who find me on YouTube, I will be willing to give discounts. So reach out to me. Let me know what your story is. Let me know how I can help. and we can help troubleshoot from the point of after we buy the gear and install everything. We can actually run your show for you if you're having problems with it. We can come in and we can just show your staff how to use the equipment, or we can do tech calls. If you're having any troubleshooting issues, you can call us. We can walk you through the problems or the solutions, and just try to be there for you when you're in your time of need. Because the worst thing to happen is to have a podcast studio or a recording studio, a movie studio, have any kind of live session, a live meeting, and have audio problems or have connectivity problems. That can be absolutely embarrassing. Or have somebody come in and you're really excited about having this person in, but the sound doesn't sound how you were hoping that it would sound. And they're asking you to do something on the fly that you didn't expect to have to do, and now you're having to pivot. And you don't want to be looking like a fool in front of everybody, especially if this is a work event and you're entrepreneur. You do not want to miss out on projects because you don't sound professional, you don't look professional. So, standing in your authenticity, but making sure whatever that is correctly portrayed. A lot of times you'll look on YouTube and it'll tell you what kind of microphones, what kind of cameras. Sometimes that is what would be best for a stereotypical setup. Yours might be a little bit different, so it might be better to use avant-garde microphones or avant-garde solutions in order to say, hey, if the most important thing is having a wonderful camera, we need to spend a lot on the camera and we need to find microphones that will solve our problem, that are affordable, as opposed to saying, well, we can't budge on the microphones. We can always make it work. The question is, what kind of sacrifice are we trying to make? And what is the end goal? Is the end goal to have a beautiful sound? Is the end goal to have a beautiful look? Or if there's no compromises, that's fine. We can do no compromises, but you have to be aware that if there's no compromises, we can't compromise in the price. We want to make sure that it looks and sounds the way that you imagined in your head. We want to bring your dreams to reality. And so that requires customization, that requires itemized things for each particular circumstance. So if you're having problems, you already have the space, you have it laid out, but your problem is we need a little bit more gear to make a Dolby Atmos setup. We can help you with that. We can set up your Dolby Atmos setup. We can help you figure out where you should set up the speakers. We can also help you figure out where you should put your panels. We can make custom panels for you. Each customized panel can be measured for whatever dimensions it needs to be measured for, and after that it will be created, fabricated, brought back, and then it will be installed. We can create all kinds of amazing solutions. We love using new materials in order to solve old problems. And a lot of times you'll see people using the same old tried and true things, but sometimes these new synthetic materials can actually solve a lot of amazing issues very effectively. So we implore you to try these things, to try something new, try something that has never been tried before, but be on the cutting edge of audio technology by just trying something that might become the audio standard. The goal is to make sure that when we're testing the room, when we're listening to the frequencies ring out, that we're not hearing anything disgusting. We want it to be a lively room if you want it lively, but if you want it dead, we also want it to be dead. So we want the room to be exactly what works for you. A lot of people might have hearing issues. After a long time of being in this industry, it's very easy to mess up your ears. And unfortunately, that will create a skewed situation where you are trying to optimize a mix or a sound in order for your ears, not understanding that EQ curve that you have on your ears is not what everybody else's EQ curve is. So if you're taking out 500 just because it's bothering you, or you're taking out 2K because it's shrill in your ears, it's going to sound a little bit thin to other people who don't have that problem. So accounting for that when you're building your space, to where if you're going to have an issue where, hey, maybe it's hard for you to hear, like I said, 500 frequency range, we can have a pair of monitors that will account for that. And we can also tune the room if it's just going to be your room exclusively. But if you're going to have other people in there, we want to make sure that at least your sweet spot is tuned perfectly for you, and then we can tune the rest of the room flat for everybody else, and try to make that work. But it's also one of those situations where it depends on what you want. So all of the science in the world doesn't mean anything if you're not happy in the room. So if you're willing to make a compromise, we can make a compromise to make you happy. So this is audio acoustics at its finest. This is us solving problems acoustically to make sure that your room sounds great, and what you're creating in your room does not get out if you don't want it out, or what is outside your room does not get in if you don't want it in. We take deep pride in making sure that whatever we create is something that you are proud of, that when you see it, you can say, wow, I'm so happy that I called Fix My AC/DC to come out here, because when I listen to this sounds second to none. And when I look at what was created, it is exactly what I had in my mind's eye. So I'm so grateful for that. We're hoping that you guys will see the advantages in just fixing your room, fixing your monitor setup, fixing your gear setup, fixing your connectivity, fixing the bandwidth problems that you have sometimes. We will handle all of that. Sometimes you'll have a perfect setup and you're just wondering, why is it that my camera isn't giving me the view that I'm expecting to see? Maybe it's your lens. Maybe it's the way you're editing your footage afterwards. But all of these things are things we can sit down, take our time, and walk you through, or we could talk you through over the phone. We can do video calls with you. Our whole goal is to make sure that once you're done, if anybody asks you about Fix My AC/DC, all you have to say is positive things, because we go above and beyond the call of duty to make sure that you feel like, wow, they made me feel like I'm at home in my studio. I don't want to leave my studio. I want to just play in here and listen to music and listen to movies and create content and invite other people in and allow them to use the space so that I can appreciate the blessing that I have. So we hope that we're inspiring you to appreciate your space and to allow your space to be the best that it can be. Just because it sounds good to you does not mean that it is perfect. Okay? It is wonderful to understand your room, to learn how it sounds, but the horrible part will become if you go anywhere else, if you upgrade from that space, you have to learn all over again with skewed ideas of what it should be. So let us help you make your room flat and neutral in order to give you an opportunity to have a clear palette when you go other places. Or if you don't like that, if you just like a darker room, we can do that. We want to make sure that your room is how you want it. So if you have any questions, we would love for you to reach out, call us, contact us, ask us. Anything that you have to ask would be super appreciated, just because it's so wonderful to have people interested in audio. It's so fun to talk about, and I can never get enough opportunities to bring up something about audio. So if you ever just ask me a question, the likelihood of me being able to help you is super high, just because it's so fun. So what I want to do now is double check that we are live. I want to make sure, because last time what I want to do, it looks like we weren't live, but this time it looks like we are. That's beautiful. Super happy about that. So in wrapping this up, I want to ask everybody again, please, if you're not following and subscribing to the channel, please follow and subscribe. We are trying to get to 100 subscribers. We have 97 right now. It would be wonderful to get that. And please, if you're going to subscribe, engage and reach out to us. If you do subscribe, please push the dislike button. We want to be the most disliked YouTube channel. I want to see if that's possible. I just think that's pretty cool to be the most disliked as opposed to the most liked. So push that dislike button for me if there's anything that you saw on this video that you liked or disliked. And mention it. If there is something that's upsetting you about the videos, please reach out and let us know so we can improve that. I'm trying to make sure that you guys are enjoying yourselves and enjoying the music journey that we're going on. And it is a very long journey. Some days things go great, some days things don't go so great. But I appreciate everybody who's watching, everybody who's supporting. It means so much to me. And I hope that you guys really enjoy this information and take something from it and are able to grow from it. I hope this is a moment where you're learning something and saying, wow, I can fix that problem that I've been having and it won't be as difficult. A lot of times people won't call people like myself who can fix their rooms because they convince themselves it's too expensive. I began this business because so many people were charging so much to where it was absolutely unaffordable and unobtainable. Even now, when I look at my peers and the prices that they're charging just for consultations, it's absolutely ridiculous. And what are the odds that you'll actually be able to help this person in one consultation phone call? So if you're not willing to put yourself out there and go above and beyond in order to help this person, how are they supposed to feel confident about the fact that you're going to get them to that next level? That bothers me. So I just try to make sure that I am as open as I possibly can. Sometimes to my detriment. I love talking about audio. I love trying to help people. So a lot of times if you just ask me a question, you'll get me talking. And we can try to solve a problem very quickly. I appreciate you guys for watching, for following, for subscribing, the ones who have subscribed. And I hope you guys appreciate all of this new content that's coming out. We've just been consistently trying to show you guys all this new stuff. And we're going to be having some new videos coming up shortly talking about the different panels that we have. So yesterday we went into it a little bit, but not as much. I created this whole section right here from back here all the way up. It's like a 4x4 section. There we go, that's better. From here to here. That is a area that has a airspace, an air gap, so that we can make sure that we are not dealing with outdoor noise. And then I've insulated it ridiculously, and I've done all kinds of security in there to make sure that we don't have to worry about any intruders. And things like that can be done when you create spaces like that, where you're not worried about, hey, this is showing, this is showing. Now you can create these booby traps to where if anybody comes in your studio, you don't have to worry about it taking 5 seconds for them to get in. Because let's be real, insurance is great, but if something happens to your studio, it's going to feel like somebody hurt a family member. So we want to make sure if somebody is going to try to get in there, it's going to take them as long as humanly possible, because we have made it so redundantly difficult to get in here. So that requires a lot of different methods, a lot of different kinds of locks, a lot of different kinds of security, and a lot of thoughtfulness ahead of time. So if you guys are interested in all these kinds of things, we would love to work with you. We would love to try to find a way to support you guys. I know sometimes it may be a little expensive, and that's why we do offer sponsorships. We want to make sure that if you're interested in this, that we're giving you an opportunity to shine and be great. We don't want the barrier to entry to be too high to where you can't take advantage and enjoy what your studio looks like. It is our goal to make sure that everybody, no matter if it's a small studio, if it's a large studio, everybody has access to wonderful audio and a wonderful setup. A lot of times we can be very down on ourselves because we don't have the gear that everybody else has, and it doesn't look how everybody else's looks or sound how everybody else's sounds. But you're creating a style that is unique, and you're learning something to where when you do get what everybody else has, you'll have a step ahead of them, just because you'll have creativity mixed with all the abilities that they have. So stick to your your lane. Your lane may seem very empty and very unrewarding sometimes, but just know that is the way that you are going to carve a unique niche, and that is the way that other people will find you and look to you as a leader. So that's what I'm trying to do myself, is help you guys find affordable, cool ways to take care of these sound problems that we all experience, but we just don't all know how to solve them. So I want to make this common knowledge, and the only way to make it common knowledge is to make the entry so low to where everybody can do it. I am offering parties to where if you have a studio and you have a home theater, whatever it may be, and you're trying to fix it up, you can invite your friends over. I will come over and I will train you and your friends on how to fix your issues. Whether it's you want to hang your speakers, whether it's you want to move in some new chairs, whether it's you want to rewire a patch bay, whether you want to build studio walls, or you want to create your own acoustic panels. We can do all of that. We can accommodate you. We would love to, and we would love for you to give us an opportunity to make your wildest dream a fantasy. Imagine how awesome it is when your friends and family are inside your studio helping you build it. Your next artists, your next clients are all in there, and you're all learning how to fix the patch bay if something goes wrong with it. You're all learning how to rewire a light socket in case it pops, or a power socket in case it pops, and what a dedicated breaker is, and how much amperage can one breaker take, what is the amperage of a breaker, things like that. So we hope that you have learned from this. We hope you appreciate it. And if you haven't learned anything, and if you don't appreciate it, please really reach out to us and let us know how we can be better, because the worst thing is somebody who thinks that they're helping and they're actually just making the situation worse. So we really want to make sure that we're giving you guys information that you guys need, and making sure that we're not just blowing our own heads up. So we do all kinds of things, like this back wall over here. You see that whole back wooden wall? Let me go this way. This whole back wooden wall. This is a false wall that I built in order to create a 2-foot space that is an air gap, and a whole bunch of there's a wall, and then there's another wall, and then there's another wall. So there's 3 walls right there, just to make sure that we're not having issues. Creating things like that, and also creating things to make sure if you're in a space that has other people, that you don't have other people hearing you. So sometimes people will have a loud neighbor, and you won't know how to take care of making sure that neighbor won't be a problem. You just say, I don't know what will work. We have very creative ways of taking care of that as well, and we would love to help you take care of that. Please just stretch our imaginations. If you have a crazy issue, you'll be amazed at how ready we are to answer some of those questions. So I love a good issue. A good puzzle is always wonderful and always welcome in my eyes. So if you guys have anything coming up, please let us know. I'm Troy, and this is Fix My AC/DC, and we are trying to help you make sound solutions, sound advice from the sound guy. But just have a great time, you guys, exploring your sound, exploring your ideas of what you want your sound to be like, what you want your room to be like. So when you call me, we can really just go crazy. It's always fun when you have a client who knows or has a very loose idea of what they want to do, so that you can both grow. I love my clients to allow me to interject awesome things that they may never think about, because when that happens, you're able to enjoy yourself so much more, just saying, oh my God, I did not expect to have so much fun doing this thing. And after I've had so much fun, now I feel absolutely, ridiculous for doing it the wrong way all this time. So, I think it says that I'm overloading the mic, but I think it sounds good. So hopefully you guys can still hear everything great. And I hope you guys tune back in tomorrow. I'm going to be going live consistently, and I'm going to be making shorter episodes to try to get you guys in and out, so you're not sitting here for 3-4 hours just watching me perform, watching me record, whatever it may be, and just giving you guys the absolute necessities, the bare necessities. But yeah, have a wonderful day, you guys. I really appreciate you guys. Make sure that you love on the people who are closest to you, and please, most importantly, make sure you love on yourself. A lot of times we can get really down on ourselves as artists. We can think people don't like us, that we're not good enough, that we're not special, that we need to work harder, all these negative things. Make sure that you tell yourself how far you come. Make sure you're patting yourself on the back and allowing yourself to remember who you were when you first started this and how lost you were. And understand you're learning so many other people's jobs. If you broke it down, you'd probably be learning like 16 different people's jobs just to do what you do as an independent artist these days. So be very understanding and forgiving and open to yourself, and love yourself. Forgive yourself for where you're at, and forgive yourself for being tough on yourself. Because a lot of times we talk about being responsive to how you've been treating yourself, but then we'll be hard on ourselves for going through something difficult. So forgive yourself, love on yourself, appreciate yourself and your music and how the progression has come, and allow other people to share in that progression. Never, ever, ever hide your music to yourself because you're trying to make it perfect. As a person who has done that, I'm letting you know it is the worst prison cell to be in, because it's a prison cell you've created for yourself. Share, 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 share. It would be much better to have people take your stuff as opposed to you keep your stuff for yourself and nobody else gets the opportunity to even enjoy it. You could be the person who incites the next great idea. You could be the person who incites the next great invention. And if you stay silent, you will be the reason why it is never coming to fruition, and you should hold that above your own head. After I said be forgiving to yourself. But, sometimes you got to just pay the piper. And I feel like sometimes when you do messed up things, you should understand it and you should hold yourself accountable. Come on, don't make everybody else be the bad guy. All right. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I hope that y'all understand. I'm just trying to help. And if you guys didn't enjoy it, please let me know how I can be better. I just want to be better, want to help you guys, and want to be able to use my skills to better my family. This is one of those things that I happen to know a lot about, and even a little for me is a lot for some people who don't know anything. So I'm just trying to share what I know, and I'm telling you, I would absolutely love to rock your studio, rock your private space, rock your unique individual idea, and just make it amazing. So I'm Troy Leonardo. I'm signing off this Fix My AC/DC sponsored episode, and we will be back next week and tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be back with another episode about sound diffusion and sound panels and acousticians. So hope you guys appreciated this, and we will see you on the flip flop.